2, 3. Are we okay over there? Yes. Hey, hello everybody. I once heard jazz musician Dave Koz make a statement that he said something in this respect. He said the power secret, the secret of how to attract love is the power that you are. The title of and Dave Koz is a jazz musician, and he has no words in his songs, but I read that in an article that he had written, and I discovered Dave Koz while I was in prison, and I listened to a lot of jazz and classical music on my little portable radio that we were allowed to have, but you had to have earbuds or a headphone, and I seemed to have that headphone on me all the time, and it was tuned into the 24-hour jazz station at a nearby city that I live nearby, and thank God that I had that there because it certainly helped my sanity. But I heard that mentioned by Dave Koz, a saxophonist. If you haven't heard of him, he's just great. In fact, I have him playing here a little bit in the background. But tonight's blog is Power Secret, the secret how to attract love. Is everything that you desire, like love, for example, does it seem to be outside of yourself, where you're trying to bring it to you? Sometimes we need to soak it in a while we reflect who we are and gain light rather than darkness, a certain clarity, if you will. Have you ever observed the numbers of colors that there are in a rainbow? Think about it. How about the types of wildflowers in a meadow that's adjoining a wooded area? All those wildflowers. Have you ever tried to number them, how many there are? It may have left room for question in your perception. But from perception to knowledge, two distinct thought systems arise that are totally opposite. The real and the unreal, or we could say light or darkness. In the realm of knowledge, no real thoughts exist apart from our Creator, because God and His creations share one will, which is light, not darkness. It's about your true free will, so claim it. It's yours. It's no one else's. Attract love and success, because that really is the law of attraction in action. The world of perception, however, is made by the belief in opposites and individuals and individual wills, that individuals with different ways of looking at things and individual wills that are in constant conflict with one another. Does that make sense? We're all trying to think we have the better way, but in constant conflict with one another and conflict with God, which is what became the separation. And the separation, I mean the separation of mind, which we only think that we're separate from our Creator, separate from the light that's beyond the darkness of the night sky and the universe. Does that make sense? We see the darkness, but the light of the stars, maybe they're just kind of speckling through the darkness. What if all that darkness went away? All we'd have was light, right? Well, that's really what we are, but we still are stuck in darkness. So we see a little bit of that splendor, and we reflect on it. But you might perceive, say, going back to the rainbow, you might perceive 7 colors in the rainbow, whereas I might perceive only 5 colors. We might both be ready to defend our perceptions as that being the only reality. I might say there's 7, you might say there's 5. But what our perception sees and hears is projected into our awareness in a way that conforms with our wishes and beliefs. This leads to a world of illusions, a world that needs constant defense precisely because it is unreal. Our separated mind, well, so-called separated mind, we're not really separated, we only think that we are, and we live in that elusive thought of thinking we're separated from the mind of God. But our separated mind of different perceptions has been caught up in the world of multiple points of view. Thus, we're caught in a dream we cannot escape from without help. Everything we see witnesses to the reality of that dream. God has provided the answer, and the only way out is through the true helper, capital H-E-L-P-E-R, the true helper. It is the function of His voice, which is the Holy Spirit, which is our natural inner light, who will reverse our thinking and help us to unlearn our mistakes and our errors in where we really live, whether it's darkness or light. This is a process of undoing, and this process of undoing the errors in our thought process will help us to escape the dream of conflict and darkness and reawaken back to the unseparated world where eternally we safely rest. In other words, live a more decent life towards the light rather than caught up in the darkness. We have not really left our home. We only think that we're away from heaven while we're here. But our wrong-minded perception, which is our ego-based mind that dwells in that darkness and sees the universe as the black sky with speckles of stars rather than taking away the darkness and all there is left is light. You see the difference there? But there's a part of us that goes beyond the ego-based mind that sees that starry night out there in the universe, and we're pulling the light through the darkness. That's the Holy Spirit in us that's allowing us to see the splendor in those universal skies at night with those full moons and such. But our wrong-minded perception, as I was saying, which is our ego, holds us in the dream with defensive thoughts. We seem to always want to defend the dark side. This always brings on anger and attack in some form as the result. Even a perceived defensive thought can be harmful, but any anger we incur in ourselves only involves our projection of being a separate mind, a projection of being a separate mind from that of God's. A Course in Miracles helps us to understand this and helps us to make sense of this by teaching us that, we're only fearful, and that's why we have attackful thoughts. We're afraid of the dark, and we're afraid to open our minds to the light, and that's why we have attackful thoughts. We want to continue to defend the dark. It's very important that we trust the power of our real mind, or we could call it the pre-separated mind, the mind that doesn't dream of darkness, that only knows of light. And that's important in order that we can see the problems in our life. The problems in our life is really unreal. So why do we need to dwell on them? Because they're really unreal. The Holy Spirit, we use the concept of the white dove, the Holy Spirit, for better understanding of the Spirit of God, is the white dove. But the Holy Spirit is really an extension of the one mind of creation because of our perception of time and space. But in reality, we are it. Yes, what I'm saying is we are His Spirit. It's not a white dove, but symbolically that may have been what it's taken generations to bring out of the darkness, the white dove coming through. But in reality, we are it. Yes, we are His Spirit. And that is why it is a Holy Spirit. It's not out there, but it's in us. Who we are rests. He's in us. And not out there, but inside of us, as who we are, rests our power for taking action in living an abundant life of love and attracting love to us. It's the secret to having wealth and abundance. It's the secret to attracting love to you, bringing the light to the darkness. Everyone, this may have been a deep video blog today, but it was intended for that reason. I am the author of The Master of Everything, A Story of Mankind, the World of Illusion We Call Life. I hope you will pick it up. You can click on the description box on this page, and it will show you a link that you can click onto that will lead you to my website that will give you more information there. Everyone, God bless, and I wish the best for you.